we go out there, they roll the camera, so we're on ESPN Live. Kara Scott does an intro, she crushes it. She's like, so Phil, what do you think about Ben Lamb's chances at the final table? And he goes, well, Kara, Ben Lamb plays for millions of dollars at Aria Hotel and Casino. The best, and he just launches, and so we have earpieces, okay? So we can hear the producers, all three of us. And me and Kara are just like smiling and nodding. And the producer's like, Phil, stop, Phil, no, don't. And he's like yelling at him in the ear while I'm sitting there, and he's losing it.
Me and my buddy, we make it all of this money. Yeah, I know it's rude to be bragging. They never catching us slacking. Me and my buddy.
All right, guys, welcome back. Table One podcast. Co-host Justin Young, other co-host Art Parman. Very special guest today is Doug Polk. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
Normally, I'm sure you've seen every one of our podcasts or whatever. It's normally about backstories and, just like gambling stories along the way. But this is more of a got you podcast, and I'm sorry for this. Sorry for our listeners for this, but I was invited to the 25K Heads Up. NBC did a reboot, and I got invited last second, which is amazing. Like, true dream of mine to get invited to it. So this is actually going to be a seminar on how to play heads up for me. And I appreciate it in advance. I'm sorry that we got you on our own false precidences, but
you know what? I'm busy. Hold on, I'll see you. We'll see you guys later.
I know you got them in your pocket.
But no, both Doug and I are playing this awesome event. Back in the day, NBC ran this thing. It was a 25K heads up challenge, and you'd play in the Caesars, and you got to play with those cool old clay chips, and it was an amazing.
Dude, you know what? Like when I was coming up in poker, this was an event I always wanted to play, and because I specialized in heads up, I especially wanted to play it. And every year I'd hit them up, and they would be like, "Oh, you're great, but go fuck yourself." And now all of a sudden, Mr. Doug Polk, the red carpet awaits you. And I just have to say, like first off, fuck those guys. No, I love poker. Everything they do is great. Thank you. But also at the same time, it does feel kind of weird to finally get into an event that you spent so many years like on the outside looking in, through the glass. It's just great to be a part of it, and I'm looking forward to it.
And then you find out they're letting Justin Young types in. So.
I mean, it's like, man, I don't know where you are on the list, but I don't know. No, I literally got the call. I think the party started at 5:00. I think I got the call at 4:45. So
you were pretty high up on the list.
Yeah, that are a lot of flakes out there, and I appreciate all of you flakes. By the way, I do appreciate that. You're going to cost me $25,000, and that's okay.
Who's your first round matchup?
I am playing Phil Locke. So,
okay.
We're basically like two poker players that used to be good in 2010. So I can't wait.
Yeah.
No, Phil Locke, I'm sure, is still great at poker. I have no idea. I haven't played against him in a decade.
Phil is so funny to me because he just gets so randomly into like the smallest things possible. Like whenever I talk to Phil, it's like last time he actually came out to the lodge, my card room in Austin, and he sat in one of our chairs, just like a normal chair, nothing crazy. And he's like, this is the most comfortable chair ever. Even me, a filthy rube, can enjoy the comfort of this beautiful chair. And I'm just like, this is the most Phil Locke fucking moment ever. He's just like on like a 2-minute rant about this goddamn chair. Like, all right, thank you, Phil. I appreciate it.
I like him, but I also hate him because he set me on day one of the main event, and I could not get away somehow because he likes to just go all in all the time. Couldn't even escalate the bets. He's just all in.
So wait, continue about how Phil Locke plays? No,
he has sets. Plus,
wait, hold on. Was there a bad beat? That sounds like a bad beat in poker. What were the chances of that?
It's not even. It's just a sad.
They're all bad beats. They're all coolers. If it's a bad beat, it's a cooler. I mean, that's
okay.
That's to me anyway. I'm sorry. Aces versus kings. It doesn't matter if you have kings or aces.
Why you gotta do that to me, man?
No,
that's exactly how I busted. Brought to you by Code Doug. Sign up today for 20 sweeps coins on Club WPT Gold. Sorry, anyway, go ahead.
We'll definitely get into all that.
We already did.
So thank you for drinking with us as well, Doug. We do appreciate that more than you know. Of
course.
Actually.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah. Just so the viewers know, I showed up and I said, some of your staff asked me, like, do you want water, coffee, energy drink? And I was like, oh well, I just woke up, so like, I'll take a drink. And then someone said, like, well, we don't have that many good drinks. And I was like, I'll take the cheapest beer you got. So we are drinking is this a Pabst Blue Ribbon? I believe we have the Stone Pilsner. Or what do we got here?
It looks like a knockoff of PBR.
We're drinking beer so cheap, it's a knockoff of the cheapest beer. That's where we're at here. But by the way, thank you for the invite. Rolling out the red carpet for me here too.
Yeah, sorry, all the good beers were taken.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you guys have fucking IPAs? What's going on here? Jesus fucking Christ.
Can we get 2 straws, please?
What kind of budget do we have here? Like, yeah, give the gifts the PBR. It's like, oh no, we have to make slashes. Give them the discount.
You're just lucky we're not still in my garage.
Yeah, that's true.
It's the origin story in the garage.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's actually a great place to film, but just not during the summertime.
Yeah, it's hot as balls.
You know what? So it's really weird for me because I lived here for so long. Like I'm not really from anywhere. I moved around a ton, but I went to middle school and some high school here, and then I moved back for like 10, 12 years after that. So whenever I come to Vegas, it feels like I'm home. Like it feels like as the heat hits me, I'm like, it feels right. Like this is where I belong. And now realizing I don't live here it's just kind of strange. I don't know. It's like I'm now a tourist in my own city. It's kind of crazy. Speaking
of how you grew up, what a good intro. Thank you. All right. We do like to take our viewership kind of back in time with Doug Polk when it was smaller, and it's kind of how you kind of found your way into poker or gambling. Most of our guests is poker, but like still. So I know you were born in California, and then I also know that you were. Well, I just found out you actually went to middle school here, but like I did know you went to like high school and stuff in North Carolina, my stomping ground. So,
what part of North Carolina were you at?
I went to New Bern in high school, and I went to NC State.
Oh shit! Okay, Engineering.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's when you know you're from North Carolina.
it's veterinary stuff, agriculture, engineering. That's what textiles do. Yeah,
so my family one day. So I actually lived in Boulder City, which is a little bit outside Las Vegas. It's how they built the dam. Only 3 kinds of people in Boulder City: old people, built the dam; Mormons, randomly tons of Mormons, and crackheads. So you kind of got to pick your lane. And turns out it wasn't any of us, so we left town. But North Carolina, so we moved to Raleigh, and I went to high school at Wakefield, which was like a newer high school in like that area or whatever. And I briefly went to college at UNCW.
So you were a Seahawk then, right? Oh.
I was a Seahawk briefly. It didn't pan out, but yeah, I was there.
I was really hoping we were closer in age because I went down there a lot. Because
how old are you?
I'm 45.
Okay,
so yeah.
More grays than I would expect.
Poker's tough, man. sorry, I'm just not good at poker. Just magically win every day, but yeah, things are tough.
Every pot lost is a single gray hair.
Dude, even my driver's license, like I show it to people, and there's like, come on.
I love it whenever someone ages and like, what happened? Fuck you. It's like life.
Yeah.
I made it. I'm here.
All right. So why did you move around so much? Like, what was like, the genesis of you going like military or something?
You know what? Like, I don't want to throw my family under the bus. We were just really indecisive, and I think we were looking for something we were never going to find, and we just basically toured the country for no reason until my parents got divorced, and then eventually, when I was in North Carolina, when I was like 15 years old, my parents split up, and then when I was 16, they both left. So like, my dad moved to New Orleans. Actually, it was around Hurricane Katrina time back in those days. So he moved to New Orleans, started a nonprofit to get disaster victims furniture. Basically, the way it worked, he'd like pair big corporations with people that were impacted by the hurricane. And so you could get like a couch for $5, $10, whatever it was. So he left, like he moved to New Orleans. And then my mom, she found someone else she was dating, and then they left for California. So when I was 16, I lived in a house by myself in North Carolina, just like going to school. It was crazy.
Get the fuck out of here. Yeah. That's nuts.
Yeah.
That is wild.
Yeah, it was just so wild.
I mean, were you just that mature, or they just
No, they were just dealing with their own shit. Like they shouldn't have allowed that. Like I was
okay.
When you're a junior in high school and you're having Thirsty Thursdays at your house, it's like, I don't know about this.
Do you have any siblings or no?
I have 2 siblings, but they were both younger.
Oh,
so they went like with them.
Gotcha.
So I just stayed. So it ended up being,
I don't know if that makes it better or worse. I don't understand.
I don't really know. And then I found poker, and when I ran up a bankroll, I bought the house from them. So it was just a really, really weird transition, frankly. Just the whole thing was strange.
None of your friends' parents like called child services or anything, or was this?
Well, they didn't know. They didn't know. I mean, if anyone had known what was going on, it might have gone down differently.
Did you even have to keep that secret from your friends? Because I feel like you would almost have to, because in case someone blabbed to like their parents, like, I mean, what are they
going to do though?
Call child services. Like you can't be 16 living by yourself.
Really?
I mean, you can obviously, but I might be dead.
But yeah, you got to understand, when you're 16 and someone has their own house, it's pretty cool. People are not like blabbing. They're like bringing over the fucking like Miller Genuine Draft.
Going over to Doug's house to study.
Are you sure Doug's parents are cool with it? Oh yeah, they're definitely cool with it.
They're not going to complain.
So how were your grades through in high school then? I mean, living by yourself and hosting parties. I mean, you got an UNCW, so you had to have a C average.
Oh, so true. So, all right. So look, I'm one of those people that when I'm into something, I can spend 16 hours a day, every day, all day for weeks, for months, and endlessly try to be good at it. I'm an insane tryhard on things I like, but if I'm not interested, I struggle to spend 1 minute. Like I can't even begin to focus. So my freshman year of high school, like so I'm good at testing and I'm like a pretty smart guy. So I managed to get by on incredibly little work. And what I realized when I went to high school was, my freshman year, I'd bring all these books home in my bag and I would never open them because I don't want to do any of this shit. And then my sophomore year, I had a realization. You don't have to bring the books home. You can just leave them there. So I actually never brought any books home, never did any work, never did any. And it was like a challenge, its own mini game. Can Doug pass high school without any work? And I did. I made it through. And I got into a very prestigious university. Thank you very much, by the way.
Sorry. We always throw a little shame on UNCW.
No,
at least it's not ECU. I mean,
did you know we are the second best public school in North Carolina?
Yeah, I could believe that for sure. Yeah.
It's a low bar.
As many good schools as there are in North Carolina, and there are.
How old are you?
Tennessee State, by the way. Tennessee State.
Yeah, I mean it better be.
Tennessee State. I guess we got to choose that. How old are you, Doug?
I'm 36.
Okay, a couple years younger than me because we had a similar hobby. Although you said you got better at it than I ever did. Warcraft 3.
Oh fuck! You were in the Warcraft 3?
I was.
What race did you play?
I played Undead.
Oh, Undead. Okay,
Yeah.
nice. All right. That was actually I never even messed around with Undead. I played Little Human. I played a good chunk of Elf, but I was mainly an Orc player.
I still watch sometimes on YouTube when I'm bored. A
little Back to Warcraft.
little shout out to Back to Warcraft.
Yeah,
Good channel.
Another subject I did not think we were getting into today.
Yeah.
All right, guys, quick break. We just want to be here to tell you guys about Phenom Poker. Very recently, they have added MTTs to the repertoire. Every day, there's a good 10 to 12 tournaments going on right now. And in addition, if you're a first-time depositor on Phenom Poker, you can get up to 200% on $2,000 for a bonus. All you have to do is use our link, which will be posted hopefully right there. Here. I don't know where it's going to be. But you get on there, put on some money, get in USDT, and then come gamble with us, and you can get some rake back.
That's right. And if you see me or Justin at the table, definitely say something, and we will probably punt it off to you. Extra rake back for the fans.
That's right. We like to keep it in the family.
All right, back to the show.
So when did you start playing that, and when did you start playing that competitively?
Okay, so when I was like, let's just call it 11 or 12, I got really into video gaming, and at some point I realized that I was good. Not maybe the best in the world at that game specifically, but I realized I was very talented. And eventually I reached a point where I was probably top 5 or 10 US. And so whenever there would be a qualifier into this game, and at the time it was one of the more popular games in the US, I could usually qualify to go to whatever tournament. So I'd go to Georgia, or I'd go to DC, or I'd go to wherever for qualifiers for tournaments, stuff like that. And then in 2005, I qualified for US Nationals to World Cyber Games, which was the biggest tournament in the world at the time for gaming. And I flew to New York. And by the way, when you're 15 and someone is paying for you to go to New York, you're on top of the world. They're all right, we'll buy your flight and give you $300, kid. And I'm this is the best ever.
This is Home Alone 2. I think I've seen that movie.
I vividly remember I got off the flight, I walk outside, and I'm like, oh wow, the Big Apple. And some guy's like, yo kid, you want some crack? And I'm like, I'm good. I'm so happy to be here. So I went to the event, and you get the VIP thing because you're one of the gamers in the gamer lounge, and it was incredible. I mean, I never qualified for a global tournament because there were a couple guys that were better than me. And that's the problem when you're so in any video game or anything in general, the US tends to be the best country other than soccer. So basically, if you're very good in the world, but you're in the US, you're probably not going to qualify for international tournaments because you have to beat probably the best guy in the world at that thing to get there. And there were a couple of guys that were just clearly better than me that I just could not beat. And I was struggling, and I was banging my head against the wall, and I was trying to get through. And then when I was 16, someone was like, why are you doing this? And I was like, well, what else am I going to do? Like this is the game I play. He's like, just play poker, you idiot. And I thought about it, and I'm thinking like, this guy must be a degenerate gambler. And I Googled like poker, and it was like person versus person. And I'm reading about, I'm like, oh, and then when that hit, it just, everything was done, because now why would I go play orc? Obviously I would rather play a game for money with
Poker versus an orc, maybe. Like some.
Well, you do have a lot of ogres.
Some ogre, yeah.
I see we're going to the same place. But yeah, basically that was sort of the point where I was hooked, because it was still strategy, but now for money. And poker has so much ego where people are delusional about their own abilities. And one of the things that gaming taught me was, and I learned this from my dad playing chess younger too, but when I would lose, this might be the thing that I think is one of my strongest attributes. When I lose, I just take accountability. Like, you sucked. You lost because you were bad. Go fix that. It was never like, oh, well, he got lucky and then that happened. I just said, like, you sucked. And maybe even like too critically. Like, maybe I've been and am too critical on myself. But the fact that I never made excuses, I just always blamed myself if I lost. That goes so far in a world of delusional idiots. Our world is full of delusional idiots.
We are.
Fair. Yeah. At some point, I think I crossed over. I think I was very similar to you, and then I think I got complacent. And then I'm not saying I'm like one of those like, you suck, like whatever. Like, I just stopped caring to blame myself, or I stopped fixing the problem. I guess like it was just like, I suck, but what are you gonna do? Like that was more my mentality after the first like 10 years of my career. I think. I
mean, I think like once you find your way, it's easier to do that. Yeah. When you're kind of coming up in the world and trying to figure out what you're going to do and trying to figure out who you are and what your career is going to be and all that stuff, it's a bit different. But I mean, I remember we haven't played much. We played a little, like back when I was, in my early 20s playing in Vegas and stuff. Like, I remember playing with you.
You dabbled in the 10-20 streets for a bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we very much liked you there too. It was fun playing against you. I don't mean that in a critical way at all. Like a lot of the especially the pros were a little drab, and like, you came in with a different style, and it was fun to play against something that was different.
Yeah. So this is a good subject too, because I've played in a lot of different games now in a lot of different places, different cities, countries, whatever. And the Vegas mid-stakes streets might be the worst. Like that actually might be the actual worst possible place to play poker, because it's full of people that are like either trying to make it or think they might make it. And so everyone is so serious and everything is like on the line. Everyone's trying super hard, and it just isn't a fun time. I think that this city specifically for mid stakes is probably the worst place to be.
I would agree with that. Yeah. I haven't spent a lot of time elsewhere, but I mean, if I were up and coming, I certainly wouldn't be here. I'd be in
Austin or Florida, or
in Austin, playing at the lodge,
parks or whatever. Yeah,
where people have money, but they're not trying to be pro poker players.
Yeah, so that's the big thing. So where I'm based out of in Austin, you go play poker. It's like mainly just wrecks that just want to play poker, because no one is. Maybe some people now, I suppose, but most people aren't moving to Austin to play for a living. They're just like working in tech, and then they go down and play cards on Thursdays or Fridays. They're not try-harding really hard. And I felt like Vegas was just chock full of that. I really, actually, you know what? I haven't played a lot of live poker in my life, but Vegas made me quit playing live poker. I'm serious. Like, because I played a bunch of those games,
yeah.
And I'm just thinking to myself, like, why would anyone do this? It's just miserable.
Well,
you can imagine the people. You were great at the table. You were great at the table. You were like one of the positive people. And when I'm not even saying I was great. When I was younger, I was more quiet and trying to be competitive too. But the number of people that you just wouldn't want to be around day to day, it's high.
Well, that's why private games got invented. Fortunately or unfortunately, however you want to view it. I mean, Art and I have our own private games, so like, we're a little biased, but I think it's a product of exactly what you're talking about. I think the recreational players and the semi-entertaining pros kind of got sick of the other 80% of tryhards and like,
yeah,
and the only outcome
shooters and
yeah.
Yeah. You know what? So when I was younger, that really angered me, because I felt like I had a right to get to play, and I had to learn that I didn't. And so on like the scale of poker players, I was basically the worst possible intersection, where I'm like a very good player, but in a format that you're not playing. Like my ring game, it's
It's fun.
I mean,
I love playing against Doug in a full game.
I'm a good player, but when there's 9 people, there's probably a couple people winning more money than me at the table, you know? So my rep way exceeded my ability. So I couldn't get into almost anything. And then when I could get in, I'm not that good. So as you might imagine, I couldn't really win money by playing that.
You finally get in, but it's a terrible lineup and you just get destroyed.
And I would always say, like, I'll play whatever you want, right? You know, because like you know Ryan Feldman, obviously, right?
Yeah, of course.
So Feldman and I go way back, and before the lodge, before, you know, really when I started YouTube, I always told Feldman, like, you know what, if I come out, I'll always support you. Any lineup, I'll just put together. You can play any game. I'll just be there. And then one day, I'll never forget this. It was like, it's going to be a 9-handed game, and one rec dropped out. And I mean, by the way, it's not a podcast unless we take at least one Matt Berkey shot. So one guy drops out, and then another rec looks out, and like that rec dropped out, so he drops out, and then the third rec drops out. And then once all the recs are gone, obviously Matt Berkey drops out. So now we have, you know, 4 or 5 good players, and then they're considering dropping out, and Ryan's like desperately trying to put the show together. And I was like, look, you guys can pick the game. I'll just play whatever it is. And then like several of them were PLO players. So I'm playing 5100 PLO. I don't know anything about PLO. These guys are all like, you know, opening. The point is, I've always just tried to be easygoing with game selection and playing the game, because I felt like some of that stuff, it goes a long way in the future. Like if you show that you're willing to play, give action, do whatever, that's, in my opinion, like what poker should be about. And when people start to get really nitty on like, it needs to be, like the worst ever are mixed games. Yep. Those guys will argue about like one plaque, like one game. Just why are you even arguing about this? Just shut the fuck up and play whatever the fucking lineup is. Like,
or they're going to take a walk. And then there's specific rules now in mixed games for you're allowed to take a walk, but it has to be for only during this one game or whatever. And
you know,
it's crazy.
Some of those guys should take a long walk off a short bridge. I'm just saying.
Like a lot of my good friends are mixed game players, and not talking about you, but they're the most miserable pieces of shit for the most part.
Is there anyone that plays mixed games I can get a t-shirt of?
Sorry. Another, speaking of reboots or whatever, they're bringing back the Bay 101 bounty thing this year, the WPT. And one of my favorite stops I've ever been to in my entire life. Can't wait to go this, I think it's in October, late October. But in addition to that, I love the shirts they used to give out. So if you bust the guy, normally they would have a big presentation. Matt Savage come over with the microphone, announce how the hand went down and how you beat like some super pro. And then the pro would have to sign the shirt. And you got like $2,500 or like $5,000 or something like that, depending on what year you played. And it was just the best event. And you had like people like 3 deep on the rail, like just like fans of poker.
I never really saw that actually. It sounds fun. I just didn't really,
amazing.
Wasn't really aware of it.
Yeah, but either way, they're bringing it back. I don't know if the Phantoms can be the same thing. You know, it's one of those things like when you have a memory of something, how good it was in your head, it can never quite be as good. But I'm hoping it will be. That's kind of like the NBC right now. I mean, It's almost the same idea. It's like, you know, a big tournament when we were younger that was iconic. I mean, so the NBC, some of those moments were legendary. I mean, the number one all-time most legendary moment by a mile was when Phil Hellmuth told Tom Dwan, we'll see if you're even around in 10 years or whatever it was.
We'll see if you're even around in 5 years. Maybe I won't. That's the truth. I don't think you will be, to be honest.
And I look back on that and I'm like, damn, he was right. Like Phil nailed that. Like honestly, right? He nailed that.
Wow, that's true.
I'm not trying to take shots at Tom Dwan here. I'd rather keep it, you know, more siloed to Matt Berkey. But the thing is, like he nailed it. Like he really did. Like,
do you know how many people Phil Hellmuth has probably said that to?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not. There's a chance he said it to me before, but I'm going to guess it's over a couple dozen people he said that to.
Okay, well, if there's a laundry list of people, it's less impressive. But how iconic that moment was, and by the way, of course, he was out of line. You know, I have a weird relationship with Phil Hellmuth. It seems like as good of a place as any to talk about this. So look, okay, I like Phil. I do think he's a good guy, and I would trust Phil with seriously all my money. Like if I had to give Phil however many millions of dollars just to hold, I know I would get it because he is a upstanding, good guy in the poker community and very trustworthy. But, and it's a big but, he is such a fucking diva about so many things. And as like sort of like the news in poker, right? Like that's sort of my lane. It gets weird because a lot of the people around me view me as sort of like one of their either like, you know, like either friends or you know, just someone they play with or like, you know, a fellow competitor or whatever it might be. Like my main job is content, right? Because that's like my main thing. So when I do something on some of the people around me, I feel like they get particularly hurt because it's not just like random nonsense media personalities doing this. It's like someone you played with, you've hung out with, you've talked about. So it's a very tricky line. And as I've gotten older, it's made me less and less want to even take quote unquote shots on anyone because I don't want to like upset people. But again, like my lane is poker media. So when you do something that's very notable, I kind of have to talk about it.
If you're after clicks, you got to get clicks.
You have to get clicks. And Phil specifically, he's just always doing dumb shit. And so I'm torn because I see Phil and I like Phil. And I think he's a good guy. And I hope he sees this. But then like he'll do something that is outrageous. And now it's like now I'm honestly stuck. Like when he does it, the first thing I think is dread. I'm dreading because now I feel like I have to cover this.
I'd like to ignore this. Oh, what did he say? Fuck. How am I going to ignore that?
The burn this place to the fucking ground thing.
I think I'm gonna burn this fucking place down if I don't win this fucking tournament. Fucking burn this fucking place down. Damn motherfucker.
When I saw that, I already knew I was going to get scolded. And some of the film messages, by the way, I think he wouldn't mind me saying this. I think I said it before some places, but like our conversations are hilarious. So this one time I covered something that he did. And for the record, maybe a couple of videos have been a little too mean to Phil, but on the whole, I think I've covered him quite fairly. I'm on a plane. It takes off. We're in the air. I'm on the Wi-Fi in the air. And he texts me and he says, "Hey, call me." And I text back and I say, like, "I'm in the air. I can't talk to you right now." And I swear to God, he responded, "Okay, have it your way." Can you explain what that even means? Like what?
When you land, it's just like
I landed,
you're banished.
I landed. I texted him, didn't respond. I'm just like, all right, I guess I had it my way. I mean, what the fuck is that? I mean, what am I even supposed to do with that? And we have so many moments like that where I call him out. I call him out like in my lane, which is what I do. And then, you know, I believe fairly. And then he like, I don't want to say he guilt trips me, but he like sort of guilt trips me because he cares. And he is a good guy. And that's where it gets tricky because the reality is if you go to a final table at the World Series of Poker and you're saying, "I'm going to burn this fucking place to the ground." If you're anyone not named either Phil Hellmuth or Dan Negreanu or Phil Ivey, like Phil Ivey would do that, you're getting like a punishment or like something. And when he doesn't, I feel like it sets sort of a bad standard for our industry. But he's always going to get away. He's always going to get away. I have another great Phil Hellmuth story. While we're on Phil Hellmuth stories, I actually have a couple more if you want.
Sorry, we want him on our show, so go away. Then I'm just going to send Phil all these clips and like make him come on.
He'll know this moment exactly. So back when ESPN still had the main event, I got hired 1 year to be on there, and we're in the green room beforehand. So they're like, you know, make hair, makeup, whatever, and they're prepping us. And it's me, Kara Scott, and Phil Hellmuth. And so Hellmuth looks at like the producer, I forget his name now, and he's like, "Hey, so what do you think is the best way for me to promote Aria Hotel and Casino?" And he's like, "Phil, don't do that. We were at the Rio. Aria has nothing to do with this. They were competing casino in Las Vegas. Do not do this." He's like, "Well, I was thinking maybe I could get in kind of at the top." And they're like, Phil, don't do this. Phil. And he's like, Phil. And there's a standoff. And I'm in here and I'm just thinking, man, show business is crazy. So I'm sitting there and this is all going down. And then we go out there, and I've never been on like something big like that, right? Like real ESPN. I'm on the desk, right? And by the way, Kara Scott is incredible. She is such a pro. She's a pro's pro. She's just like, I have so much respect for her. And so we go out there, they roll the camera. So we're on ESPN Live. Kara Scott does an intro. She crushes it. She's like, "So Phil, what do you think about Ben Lamb's chance at the final table?" And he goes, well, Kara, Ben Lamb plays for millions of dollars at Aria Hotel and Casino. The best. And he just launches. And so we have earpieces, okay? So we can hear the producers, all three of us. And me and Kara are just like smiling and nodding. And the person's like, Phil, stop, Phil, no, don't. And he's like yelling at him in the ear while I'm sitting there. And he's losing it. And Phil is full show mode. And I'm like looking at this guy and I'm just thinking like, this is fucking crazy. Like, we're on ESPN, and he's advertising their rival casino that they just told him not to do. And this guy's, oh my God, man. It was, I mean, what do you even say? Like, afterwards, we leave the set. I'm like speechless. I don't even know what to just say about what happened here. This is insane. It was crazy.
That's incredible.
It was
Fantastic.
fucking crazy.
Do you remember who the next person was to speak after Phil finishes his rant? Or
Well, so I was like analyst, right? It was like Phil and I were the analysts, and I did some segment afterwards, but the whole time I was thinking about Phil because it was just so fucking crazy what had just happened. And actually, another funny thing about that story. So I was breaking down something, and the producer was like, "Okay, Doug, lay out. Doug, lay out. Doug, lay out." And you know, you're looking at a camera, and it's the red lights on, so you know you're live. And I'm just talking. This guy's in my ear, and I just kept, and then eventually just stops and goes off. And I said, "What just happened?" Doug, I said, "Lay out." Like, that doesn't mean anything to me. I don't know what that means. Stop talking. We're going to commercial.
Oh.
I'm like, okay, man.
I wouldn't have known either.
Maybe just like let me know that. Like, stop talking could have been good. Like, lay out. I
Like,
don't know what
to me, like layout sounds like, stretch it out. Like, like talk more even. Like, not that you needed to hear that.
If you're not responding to the first one, maybe hit him with Doug, we're going to commercial.
That would have been great.
Just a very polite shh. Doug,
Stop talking.
Are you tired of playing with players like this? Not this.
No.
Like this? Or this?
Or do you want to play with players like this?
Oh, wait. If you like having fun at the poker table, Table 1 is the game for you. We play high stakes, no limit, 100 blinds. And if you want to get into the game, it's actually super easy. We have a website, table1.vegas. You just go to the website, you click get a seat in the game, and fill out the form. It's that easy. It's your name, it's your phone number, it's the date that you're here, and I will personally reach out to you.
And it's only $5K minimum buy-in. Run it up at 2.5 and join us.
All right. Well, that was glorious, but let's go back to Doug's gonna play poker.
How many more?
16 years old.
How many more? I have several more. If you want more Phil Hellmuth stories,
I really do. I really do.
Let's do one more, and then I want to find out how you actually played poker when you were 16. But yeah,
okay,
let's do one more Phil.
Okay,
story,
this one's a little more personal. This is a little more personal. So, something like 6 or 7 years ago at this point, I was out in I forget whether it was Philly or Pittsburgh or something like that, and it was a very small field heads-up tournament. It's called King of the Hill. It was on Poker Night in America.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Okay. So Phil and I were both on the show, and we had like this casting call to go just like talk about everything and make sure we're on the same page, and then we can go home. And actually, there's 2 stories in here. So first off, when we're gonna leave, they say, "Okay, guys, be back here at 10 a.m." And this is the kind of thing from Phil I don't like that he does. He goes, "Have someone come to my hotel and wake me up at 9:30." And they say, "Phil, just set an alarm." He's like, "No. Send someone." He's like, "No, I said so." And then he just storms out as they're trying to tell him. And then the staff just had to be like, "Okay, who's going to Phil's room? Like, are you?" And then they have to basically like, our rock, paper, scissors. So someone's got to go wake Phil up. Why do this? I don't understand that shit. Anyway, so he goes to the taxi area. I finish up. I go to the taxi area. We share a cab. It's just me and Phil Hellmuth and a taxi driver. And we're driving to our hotel. And we're in the back seat. And we have a very touching moment where he looks me in the eyes and goes, "So Doug," and it was tense. I could feel it. He says, "So Doug, how many bracelets do you think you're going to win?" And I look at this guy and I'm just like, "Not as many as you, Phil." I mean, what do you even say to that?
That's a very Phil Hellmuth story right there.
I don't even play the World Series most years. Like, what
Small talk, He's talking and you're small.
I guess in one way, I do think he was trying to like have a real conversation with me.
I honestly don't think it's malicious or planned or anything like that. Phil's not that way.
I like Phil. I really do. I think, and I think he's good for poker. And I think the fact that sometimes he does stuff that's like not necessary and uncalled for, I think actually is kind of good in some ways. But it's just an impossible task to navigate that with also doing media because he's gonna do stuff that you have to. Anyway, I've complained enough.
One of the first long drawn out conversation I had with Phil, it was one-on-one. It was incredibly nice. We were going back and forth a while, and I can't remember what the question was, but it was a very long, thought out question to me. And I go to answer it. I get maybe, I would say 4 to 5 words into my answer, and he cuts me off and answers it for himself. And I was like, oh, right. I get it. We're back to you. I get it. And like, that was how our conversation went for the rest of the time. And like, but still, to your point, like, I love Phil. I would hang out with him every night of my life. I'm being dead serious.
Well, I don't know about that.
But yeah, like, he makes me laugh enough. And like, he's genuinely just who he is. He does it. It's not a show. Whatever you see on the camera, it's not a show, guys.
Dude, it's not a show. That's the thing that people really don't get about him. It's not like that when the cameras are on. It's just like that, which
it's good and bad.
It's good and bad. It's good and bad.
But still, it's genuine. He doesn't play up for the cameras. Maybe a touch, but like, not much.
Yeah.
Anyway. All right. Now, Phil, can't wait to have you on, buddy.
Sorry, I might as well add that he's put me on his mean list. He won't play with me. We played No Gamble, No Future, and I got a little too drunk, and I apparently said some jokes at his expense.
That's
in front of the cameras, and then he told Brent, I'm on his list, and then Brent told me, there's only one other person on that list, Art.
Who's on the list?
God, who was it? No, it was, God, who was it? I don't know. He took him off though, so now it's just me. I think.
Okay, you're a lone man on the list.
Well, on the bad side, that means you can get off of it. So,
well, that's good to know. On a recent high stakes poker thing, they did like a break segment, and he just went on this rant about fake news, Doug. By the way, I wasn't there. I wasn't on the episode. I was just at home, and I just see this recorded episode from a year ago where he's just on a rant about me about fake news, Doug. I'm just like, what? Why? So unnecessary.
What did I do?
To be fair, honestly, if I think if you went up to Phil right now and we're like, "Am I still on your list?" He was like, "Who are you again?"
Yeah.
I feel like poker gets a bad rap because I feel like it is entertainment, and it's a place where people can either watch things or learn about things or play or be a part of it. Like I do think poker, obviously it's a net negative game, and obviously gambling destroys many lives. Brought to you by Club WPT Gold. Use code Doug.
If you want to come play table one. But we're on the same page.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think like the world's what you make it, and it's a beautiful game. It really is a beautiful game. So I'm just very pro poker in all of these conversations, and obviously like from the poker guy, that's going to be kind of standard. But I do think we bring value to the world in our own way.
Sure. I mean, we can be dancing clowns, and like we're. As pros, we can be more entertaining than a blackjack table or something like that. That's fair. But at the same point, like the brain power in poker, if you put it towards something that could actually like impact the world, I'm not saying one's better than the other or anything like that. But like, I used to go through just I don't know if some kind of life crisis or whatever, like twice a year for like all of my 20s. It's like, what am I actually doing? Like, like all my friends that are just as smart as me, they're getting their own businesses now. They're like all these, they're doing actual like amazing things. And like, I was like, I play against idiots for the most part, and I try to take their money. Yay. Look at me go. It felt very parasitic and like very attacking. Now, the rest of the year, the other 364 days a year, I was just like, or 363, I was just like, poker's great. I love poker so much.
Look at me drinking on the job.
I think part of poker too is poker, because to be good, you have to be introspective, or else you're probably going to be delusional and be a loser. And so because it has that quality, it forces you to think about that in lots of other areas that aren't like about playing poker, but they're about your life in general. And I think that's one of the toughest things about poker. It's trying to be good at a game where you have to do that and then not drive yourself fucking insane in the rest of your life. Because really, you need to compartmentalize in a way that is very difficult to.
Yeah, I agree. But like I said, most of the year, I love poker.
Gamble responsibly.
Yeah, either way. Okay.
Brought to you.
Have
I mentioned I own a card room? No,
don't worry. We want to get to WPT. We want to get to the lodge. There's a bunch of things we want to get.
All right, go for it.
But all right. So you're 16, living by yourself, hosting Thirsty Thursdays and Taco Tuesdays, and all these other.
And
stuff.
are you at these parties, or are you just on the computer playing poker?
I'm there.
So someone's like, okay, World of Warcraft 3.
No, Warcraft 3.
Oh, sorry.
Important difference. You insulted tens of people. That game. Okay, one of the beefs we have as the Warcraft 3 community is that there was a much bigger game called World of Warcraft, and people confuse them. And just so you know, Warcraft 3 is like StarCraft, strategy, real-time decision-making. You have to be really critical. You have to be good at thinking critically and acting fast and really be on your game. And World of Warcraft, you wear fucking capes or some shit. I don't know. It's like fucking bullshit. It's like goddamn fucking bullshit. And when you do that, people like me, people like Art, we are upset. and we're angry and we'll put up with it. We'll put up with it, but it's not okay.
I just love how
the main similarity is you still have to spend 8 hours a day in your basement. It's the only main similarity.
That part is exactly the same.
I just love how I sounded like a disappointing father. It was like, just play your silly games.
Yeah.
I don't care. Just look at the sun for a couple minutes a day.
You did almost the most insulting thing possible. You okay? You know what it'd be like? It'd be like when it's almost exactly like this. It'd be like if you were like, all right, you're talking to your friends. I'm gonna go play some poker today, and like, okay, enjoy your baccarat.
Yeah.
It's like
it's like what your parents think you do for a living.
So all my on my mom's side anyway, her side of the family and her friends, they think I play roulette for a living. Like I'm not joking. Like anytime I come home for the holidays, and she has people over, there's like, oh man, how's Vegas going? It's like, oh, that's good. It's like, all right, so I have this strategy. So like, do I bet the green numbers? Because like I know you're really good at this. And it's like, well, I wouldn't play that at all. It's like, but this is what you do. What do you mean? How do you know when to bet the green numbers?
Do you tell them that if you lose, you should just double your bet?
Do they ask you if they'll give you $500? Can you turn it into 1,000?
I've had that many times.
That question blows my mind. Like because so I'm old enough now where I don't get that anymore. But when I was in my 20s and I was living in Vegas, I got that so much that it was ridiculous. Like, why would you? Let's play this out. You give me 500. So now I'm taking your 500. I'm going to the table and like I'm for sure gonna double it. Like what kind of logic do we got here? It's crazy number of times that comment specifically happened.
Oh, I agree. And then like I was like, well, I could, but like I have $500. I don't need your 500. So if you gave me something like $50,000, like we could talk a deal. And there's like, whoa. I mean, but you can guarantee 100,000. Like, no, you might lose the 50. And there's like, well, why would I do that? I was like, yeah, you're not a gambler. You get it.
And I mean, if they gave you $50,000, I think pretty quickly you could turn that into $40,000.
Yeah,
magic no time at all.
Abracadabra, and it's gone.
I love that the South Park thing.
Yeah, good. Dude, that was one of my.
By the way, those guys. Okay, so I've always loved the intersection of. I'm just a big comedy guy in general. I love laughing. I love trying to make people laugh. And like my heroes, one of them is Jon Stewart. When I grew up, Daily Show. In fact, a lot of what I do and the way I do it is because of Jon Stewart, and he's way more talented than me, and I look up to him so much. But I think he's just like one of the goats. And then Trey Parker and Matt Stone on South Park, like those guys are incredible. Like how
geniuses,
how good they are at what they do and how funny it is and how fast they put it together. Because like creativity is a skill set, and the people that are like that on that level, that they can consistently do it for decades. And every episode, there's a show that showed the behind the scenes making of South Park. Have you guys seen that?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I watched that, and I'm in awe. It's okay. You have 6 days to get a fucking TV show out, and they just, all right, what do you got? And then they're in there like, just to watch that kind of creative energy. It's incredible. I love those guys so much.
So you're a big fan of basketball then?
A big fan of basketball, yeah.
Just making sure. I didn't know if it was before your time.
Been a few years. I think I was really, really young.
Yeah, well, yeah.
How old are you, by the way?
I'm still 45. Like, I've not aged since we started this podcast. But no,
it's been so long.
The movie came out when I was like 21.
38.
Yeah, okay.
So the movie came out in like 2001, I think, or whatever.
Okay.
But like even then, like South Park was such a hit, but like it was a different kind of like comedy. It basically kind of almost grew up with me. Like,
yeah.
Like, because I think they were a few years older than I am.
And they've gotten better over time.
Oh, yeah.
It just gets better and better and better.
Just beautiful. Like it literally is. My brother texted me and he's like, "Have you seen the new season?" I was like, "No, but I'm saving it because like I need like I can't just watch one in a row or whatever."
So the main sort of like funny filter that they use is irony. Because a lot of different like sorts of funny filters. They do like caricatures and run lots of different characters and stuff, but they do so much irony, and I just feel like they've honed in on how to make it the most possible ironic at all times, and then play off like the ridiculousness of that, and they're masters of the craft. They're so good. And I wish poker just I know we'll change subjects here in a sec, but I wish like poker is such a solitary game in general. And now so I don't play poker a lot anymore, but when I do, it's usually high stakes on my own show. And so I get like, it's a blessing. I can play a couple times a month. And when I do, it's like with people I want to be around, and it's fun and I enjoy it. And it's on a show. And I just wish poker was more like that in general, because when poker is a positive atmosphere and you're happy to be there, whether you win or lose, obviously you hope you win. It's just such a better experience. Like I went to play a Triton in London a year and a half ago. I flew over there. My mom's English actually, so I'm visiting family and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just in this 100K or 250K or whatever it is. And then the first hand I play, some pro opens that everyone would know. I'm not going to call him out here. And then I 3-bet him and he calls and the flop comes whatever. And I bet. And he just like launches in and be like, you fucking idiot. You even see my fucking stack? And I look over and so I'm bluffing the flop and I did not see a stack. And my bet made no sense given the stack, but it was my first hand. I didn't even think about it. And he's like, you're fucking, and he just launched into this tirade about how bad I am. And he's like braiding me. And I'm just sitting there as this is going on. I'm thinking,
making poker great again. You know,
this is why people don't want to fucking play these, because I'm fucking washed at high stakes tournaments. You know, I'm washed. I mean, I look at my head mob. I got like 2 cashes in 7 years. Like I'm
but
done.
I still want to get into that. By the way, you have like over $10 million in earnings, and you have like 12 cashes. Like, I mean, that's really hard to do, I think.
Yeah, because when I realized what it's like, I walked away. I don't want to be involved in this.
The weird dynamic about high stakes tournaments is it's not like high stakes. Like you would think you'd want to be catering to the people such as yourself that are there to have a good time. And like you said, you're not like considering yourself as like top of the field, but like actually the whole thing is about selling action. So everybody has to pretend they're better than they even are, which is weird in like a poker setting.
So I think that's actually less of it. I think the bigger thing is we have to understand with these high roller tournaments, because I've played a chunk of them, but there's so much ego. There's so much I'm better than you. And what people don't realize is that even if you are, let's just say, it's by such a fraction where 90% of your results are going to be luck based. And then what happens is there's survivorship bias where the people that did win them keep playing. And then of that, they're more likely to win because they're still, you know, compared to the field or whatever, because they've played more events. And so you see guys that win, you know, X number of tournaments over 10 years and think, oh, they're like the best. Well, maybe, or maybe not, but they were the one that ran hot at the right time. And now here they are. And so, and then you start to believe in that, and you believe like, man, the number of guys in those tournaments that love the smell of their own farts is crazy. It's just like an endless number of them. You can see it on they're like,
another good South Park episode.
Yeah,
there you go.
Smug.
Very well done. Good tie back in.
Yeah.
But as a whole, you're right. And like, I think that's a lot of poker, but like, I do think you have to have that ego attached to even play those things consistently. Like going in humble, I think is really tough to just go be like, most of these guys are about the same as me. I hope I run good. It's easier when you bust, obviously, when you're just like, whatever, it wasn't my day. But at the same point, like, I don't know, those guys are just built different. They're definitely built different than me.
It's tricky because, and it's polarized in a way where to play that level consistently in the long run, you either have to be like super grounded or crazy fucking full of yourself. You almost can't be in the middle.
Right.
Because if you're in the middle, you probably don't end up there. The grounded people that work their way up and know that they're good and have sold a ton of themselves and they have 8% and they're just even keel. There are a bunch of those guys in those kind of tournaments.
Yeah.
But then you also just have all of these guys that think they're the shit because they fucking ran hot for 2 years, you know?
Man, I was really trying to get him to say names too. I almost got him to do it. I swear he like,
I thought that was
people.
your thing. Say names.
No, you don't have to. This isn't one of those podcasts.
Who do I got to call out?
It's funny. I felt like you're.
Where's Matt Berkey? No, I'm sorry.
So when these guys and this person. All right, so you're playing 1 cent, 2 cent, and you're 16.
Yeah, let's go back to the famous WCG rider almost quitting post, because that's what I remember.
Reaching the end of my rope.
Yeah,
I remember that.
50 NL or something. You're like, oh, I don't know what it is, guy. I mean, you probably remember it word for word.
Yeah.
But you almost gave up on poker.
Yeah. So when I was like 17-ish, maybe 18, 17, 18, I really was trying to make it in poker. And I started poker with $10. There were some cash ins and some cash outs. I don't know how it all landed exactly, but there was a point where I just couldn't win. I was maybe treading water or losing slightly or whatever. And it had gone on for what felt like ages at the time, which was probably, given the fact I was 17, like 2 weeks.
Yeah, your longest relationship.
Oh my God. Yeah. So long. And it just felt like I couldn't win. And it was frustrating because I felt like, as a smart guy that tries really hard, I should be winning. So I wrote this really emo post on 2+2 called "Reaching the End of My Rope." You can still find it today. It's extremely embarrassing and it's there for everyone to see. Check it out. head on down to anyway. So I just basically leveled with the community and was just, I don't get it. Why am I not winning? And
A lot of positive feedback, or
I mean, you know what? 2+2 is actually a great conversational topic too. I'm a big 2+2 guy. I came up on 2+2. I still read 2+2. I love 2+2. I love Mason Malmuth. Slansky's fine. But like, I love that community. I love that forum. And it really morphed over time, because back when I was like, 17, so let's just call it 20 years ago, it felt like we're all in this together. We're going to grow together. Let's learn about poker together. We'll talk about stories together. And over time, what it sort of felt to me like it morphed into was, what fucking loser rejects are left?
Right.
And that's 2+2. And I don't like that, because I wish it was more like back in the day, but there's no new blood in that community. It's all just the withered fucking has-beens that are bitter and angry. And then whenever I see my name in a post, I'm like, don't click it. Don't click it. And I'm like, but what are they saying? And I click it and I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have read this. Oh, what that guy say? It's like, anyway, that I'm a little upset about the way the online community went with 2+2, but for me, it was a big part of my formative years.
Sure. Yeah, I was fucking 26 then. I was on there some.
God, that must have been like 50 years ago, or what?
I know. A lot of gray hairs ago.
You're 50 now, right? 55?
I mean, since this podcast, I'm aging quite a bit.
Yeah.
I
Those
did.
laugh lines are really coming in.
I see a few more grays.
Yeah. Let me say something that did add some grays to my life, just real quick. Phenom Poker put out a list of all their ambassadors and like what they cashed for during the series at the World Series of Poker. Fantastic. But they got to me and they had my cashes, and then I saw in there I also cashed the Super Seniors event. And the fact that they didn't be like, oh, this couldn't be Justin. Like, obviously, let's just edit this out.
It's such a burn.
and instead they're like, no, that sounds like Justin. Actually, yeah, that's fine. He's probably 72, 73. I'm sure that's right. So let's just throw that in there. So yeah, I had like 3 cashes plus the Super Seniors, and that's what they think of me there. I'm the token old guy.
Well, congratulations on cashing in on that Roth IRA.
Now remember, you have to take equal payments going forward for the rest of your life.
But either way, all right.
So you almost quit, but then you didn't. How do you bring us out of the trough, and then let's talk some more shit about people.
Well, okay. So basically, I realized I was being an emo wreck on the internet, and I eventually figured it out and picked my lane and learned from there. And actually, oh my God, this is gonna be so embarrassing. So around that time, I posted some made up story on 2+2 where I just like one morning woke up and was like, this will be really funny. And I posted, and I was like, all right, so here's what happened. What would you guys do? So I flipped someone for a few $100. They won. I said, okay, double or nothing, they won. And just double or nothing, they won. And then I realized it was like a 2K flip, and I only had 30K. So I was like, well, I'll just keep going. And then we flipped twice more, and then they won. And I owed them 8K, and I couldn't stop. And then I posted this like completely made up, fabricated event that I lost my entire bankroll flipping, which was not true.
This
okay,
is all made up. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, this is not a good look for me. But anyway, I was like 16 at the time, or whatever it might be. And Ryan Fee, this is how I met Ryan Fee.
To tag you, yeah.
Yeah, and he DM'd me, and I was like, "I'll help you out, man. Like, I'm sorry what happened," but the story was made up. Like, I was like, it was like creative writing on the internet. I was just like making some shit up, and that's how
You're practicing your clickbait.
Yeah.
I can't believe 2+2 went to shit.
How could it happen? And then I talked to Fees. That's actually so how I met Fees, and we ended up starting Upswing together, or whatever. Which we sold today, by the way. We just sold Upswing Poker. Yeah,
Congrats.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Or is that sad or happy? I feel like it's happy, but
How
maybe
did
not.
Matt Berkey afford it? Get some investors. Sorry, Matt.
I don't think I have to solve for why. So we sold to Club WPT Gold, and we announced.
So you know people. All right. No.
Look, all I can say is that you can head on down now and use code Doug today for 20 sweeps coins on your first purchase. Use code Doug today. Have I mentioned our quarterly free roll? Anyway,
You don't get any benefit at Upswing Poker?
well, actually, so this is actually very cool. So what they're doing with it is now if you sign up and buy a course at Upswing, you also get sweeps coins on Club WPT Gold. So the idea is you buy training and then you actually get coins where you can practice the training on the client. And I think for the customer side, they don't pay any more money. They just also get coins. So in my opinion, you know, I'm now like not really involved in the financial side of the business anymore, obviously, but it's a very good opportunity where you can get good training and then also get like buy-ins onto a poker site. It's kind of sweet, I think.
Sure. You get to practice in real time and and learn.
Yeah. And by the way, like my experience so far with the company, they're just awesome. You know, like when I joined, I was talking with the team and like, hey guys, like I can't pretend that our client's good. I'm sorry. I everything's great. We're doing a great job here, but like this sucks. So I'm gonna have to roast us. And they were just like, we understand. And I just went out there and I roasted us hard. Like I went fucking hard. I hammered how bad our client was. Like I hope our development team never saw those videos. I know they did though, because they had my stream up.
Fix shit.
Yeah, it's exactly how I know. But I always wanted to kind of maintain authenticity because look, like the way so my inspiration for ad reads is Norm Macdonald. Okay. The way he would promote stuff is he would just give an honest review and sometimes he'd roast the fuck out of them just because like he felt like it was fair. And I think to your audience, if you're honest, then they're cool with it. And if you're promoting something and you're just like, yeah, it's pretty good, but like that fucking thing sucks, then they respect that you're not just some fucking shill. I'm not just out here. Like I love our company. I love being a part of it, but I'm not going to pretend that the fact that we're in 2025 and we like can't chat or like wait to post big blind is like cool. Like those are things we need to have. Like those are not like, you know, quality of life things that are just okay. Like online poker's been around for 20 years. We don't need, we should have this by now. So I think like when you're actually able to level with your audience like that in an honest way, where you can make fun of the thing, it actually sells more things. But it also more like most importantly, you keep your credibility as the authority in the space, because once you're just like more rake is better, then you're going to get buried. And you know, obviously Daniel and I have, well,
Go ahead.
You're what? Good friends? Best man at his wedding?
We're going to see you in a music video together, holding hands, dropping through daisies.
I wish we were still talking about Phil Hellmuth.
With AI, all things are possible. Get on it, internet.
So look, of all of like the big name poker guys, I actually respect Negreanu the most because he has had to navigate being like the, you know, tier S 1A star in poker as like the top few stars for many, many years. And he's a pretty outspoken guy, and he's generally speaking conducted himself well. He's just also made a few errors. And obviously when I was on the rise, I went after those errors very aggressively. And of course we had our match, everything that went on with that. But Daniel is very good for poker. And I think like in retrospect, I wish I'd handled a few of those things differently. I think all the poker stuff was very fair. Like the no rake is better thing. I think that was just fair. He said that directly, and his position I still don't understand entirely. He kept saying like, I didn't say that, but if I did, here's how. What are you, O.J. Simpson? I mean, it was like very strange the way he defended that. But I think the personal attack stuff was just like uncalled for, because like he did like blackface early on, and I ran that clip so many times, and I just shouldn't have done that. Like I was just burying him for no reason. Like shouldn't have done that. But I was burying him for no reason because I was just going after him. So if I could do it again differently, I would. And he's been great for poker. But again, like we're all human. Like he's made mistakes. He's done shit wrong. Like I've done fucking shit wrong. It's just how the world is.
That's the way everyone should act maturely. Yeah.
Yeah. But if you're coming up, punch above your weight class, take some shots at Doug over here.
That's true. So there's a weird thing where trying to find your weight class is tricky in the content game, because you don't really want to hammer people like below you. Like the only thing I mean, like I've gone after Berkey so much, I almost feel bad at this point, but like,
do you?
Will you just tell us the origin story of why you have beef? No beef. Why do you have beef?
I actually kind of like Matt Berkey, which is a weird thing to open with here, but
I like him too.
Matt Berkey is like authentically himself. He is not trying to be someone. That's him. Almost Phil Hellmuth in a way. He's just being himself. Where I always took offense to Matt Berkey was as someone that owned a training site and prioritized the quality of the coaches, he didn't. And I felt like that was irresponsible. You're trying to be an expert on how to teach people how to play poker well, and you just have this cast of like ragtag idiots that are like coaching people and paying money. I really didn't like that. I've always liked Matt Berkey, the person, but as the like training coach content guy, I haven't. And he presents himself as an expert on everything. Like, you ever watched his podcast?
Yeah, we were on it actually once. Yeah.
I can see that because you're both based out of Vegas. He's surrounded himself by yes men, and you need people that are gonna like check you. You know, sometimes you'll say shit and it's wrong, and if you're just like the guy, and no one's like, hey, you're fucking high on your own supply here, then you just go into la la land and you're saying stuff that is wrong. And he just does that on every subject. He talked about the Lodge on one podcast, and it was impressive, by the way. His inaccuracy almost seemed on purpose. It was like he said 7 things, and fucking 3 of them were compliments, but every compliment was actually not true. It's like, well, the great thing about the Lodge is that you can buy in for crypto. I'm like, can't do that. It's like, not true. That's just not true. So he gave us a few compliments that were all wrong, and then he told us 4 things in a row that were insults. Like, well, I wish you could wire. We can wire. And they really need to get safety deposit boxes. We have safety deposit. And it was impressively inaccurate. It was like, wow, you did actually no homework. If you had done like 5 minutes of homework here, you would have known. But he approaches everything as an expert. I don't know whether that's like who he is, or whether he just doesn't care to check or whatnot or whatever. But, you know, you got to like care about the accuracy of the things you're saying about other people. And if you're not going to, you do like random damage needlessly. Like, at least do some legwork, I suppose.
That's fair. I mean, I didn't see him like I don't know. I didn't watch much of Only Friends or anything, but like, I don't know, we were on there. They were nice. But yeah, I understand your point though. Like, I mean, I think there is some responsibility when it comes to being a media personality, just in general. Art and I have it easy because all we do is ask questions. We don't really give opinions. So it's easy on us. But like the other side of the poker coin for media content is this, opinionated side. Daniel's got his thing. You have your thing. Berkey had his thing.
It's true, and we're friends with Berkey, and we had Airball on, and he was like, "Man, why didn't you challenge him at all on like the stuff he says and about me?" And I'm just like, "Well, we're not really here to like check people on their facts. They're saying what they want to say, and we're just putting it out there for you all to consume."
You know what? I'm upset because I feel like after the Airball match, I could have at least gotten like a gift basket. I feel like I feel like it would have been fair because I made that. I mean, that was me. Matt, if you're listening, my address is no, I'm not putting it. But I mean, honestly, like I feel like I helped cause that match and
made Berkey some money. Yeah.
I mean, I know Airball's probably uncoachable, but did you try to teach him anything?
Oh, that's a good question. Jeez.
Wow.
And did you take a piece?
Oh, another good question.
Did you fund some of Matt's rent for the next few years?
Guys, I actually have a place I got to go. It was great. Okay, I took a small piece, but it was again very small. I didn't have like a big chunk or something, and I did try to help him. But all right, here's the thing about Airball. We're just gonna go into every person. Let's just give like a fucking breakdown of everyone.
Tell me the worst thing about all of your closest friends.
Where do I start? So he was hard to teach in this format. He was hard to teach in this format. And because I think what actually hurt him a lot, which I don't think I've talked about this before, but I think what hurt him a lot was it was all off stream. Because when there's a show, he comes to life and then you'd be able to see every hand. But when it's in just a closed doors back room, we're hearing about it, secondhand or whatever. What actually is going down is kind of like opinion. Because they each say whatever, and then you don't know. But I thought he would have done better versus Matt Berkey than he did. I was surprised at exactly what went down because it seemed they didn't.
I was going to ask, do you think it was more variance? Because I know like they did play a lot of hands, but like you think variance had anything to do with it? Because on Airball's side, like he told some of the hand histories and they're pretty brutal. But like I also talked to Berkey about some of the hand histories and he had some things go against him as well. So
I try to call it how I see it. and obviously when you lose that much that fast, there's variance. But I don't know if there was that much variance.
Gotcha.
I think what hurt him the most from what I remember when we talked to we talked to both of them. We mentioned both of the things, and like Berkey would buy in, and I think he would just like rebuy every time for the same amount, whereas Airball was just always topping up to match stacks. And like you get one cooler in a spot like that where you're already buried, like it's gonna stack up a lot quicker.
I think like it also shows mindset, because so when you play in soft live ring games, you want to be able to stack the fish, right? So you want to have more money than them. But the way heads up works is the deeper you are, the more you bluff. Like the deeper you are, the more you're running on people because their odds are worse. So if you're gonna buy in deep, you have to be ready to just fucking send it. And I don't know if that is where Airball was at. Like he'll send it. I mean, he'll make bluffs, but like consistently send it. Like the thing, people watch me play ring and they're like, this guy's a fucking spewy moron. What is he doing? Because that's how you have to play heads up. Every spot you have to be aggressively spewing like hard to be able to get enough bluffs in. Humans don't like bluffing. So we have to constantly trying to find bluffs. So like I actually drive myself insane trying to bluff. I'm always trying to bluff. I'm always trying to catch bluffs. And once you've been down that rabbit hole and heads up, it's hard to then go back to like the ring streets because your mind gets fucked up from it. But if you're going to play heads up and you're going to play deep, you got to be gunning people the fuck down. You got to be just like ripping it in spot. You know, you have to like be fucking, you have to be a fucking animal.
You hear that, Schwan? He's coming for you.
I mean, I am. But you know what I'm saying? Like that, like that's how heads up is played. And that's actually like why I think I did so well in my career coming up in heads up, because I came up pre-solver. By the time solvers were mainstream, I had already retired. So we never had solvers, but I was just a fucking animal. I was like, I will fight you for nothing.
You broke the studio because you're ready to fight.
Wow, you guys really have a high production budget brought to you by fucking Stone Pilsner.
If you drink like white trash, you become white trash. Where's a wife to beat?
It's so fun. I've been working on so my wife recently, she got a black eye.
Oh, what'd she do?
Well, so first off, I just want to point out when two ways you could take what you said.
I think he just meant it the one way.
Yeah, I think the one terrible way. I apologize.
Burnt supper.
Probably true.
I'm
When you're walking outside with your wife with a black eye, it's horrible. It's just everyone's looking at you. You want to be like, hey, sorry, like wasn't me. Like that.
You fell down some stairs.
Yeah.
Doorknobs are everywhere. Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
I'm like, sweet, tell them what happened. No, tell them what happened.
Squeeze her arms. Like, no, seriously, tell him.
Do what I'm telling you. Tell him what happened. I'm so sorry. She really should get better at following directions.
I had to take my wife to the ER because she like passed out in the middle of the night from like whatever happened. She like fell into like the door frame and like slid down it, and then like
wait, hold on. What?
My daughter like she like passed out from like getting lightheaded, and just literally she happened to fall into a place where it wasn't so bad, but she got a black eye, and we went to the ER. And like I left the room for something, and in that moment that I left the room, the nurses came in. And they were like, "Do you need to tell me something?" And I'm happy they do that, by the way.
Yeah. That's good. I mean, it's good to check in for sure. I mean, that's
a true story, by the way.
Fantastic. So how'd your wife get her black eye?
Yeah. Let's get back to Doug.
What story do you want to tell since Art told his truth?
Yeah.
Sorry, I just thought that was a bit.
Sorry, Bobby. I'm sure. Yeah. I'm pretty sure you could kick Art.
And then I was thinking like what could make it better? Like when you're walking out and your wife has a black eye, like what could make it seem less bad? And I was like, well, what if I get myself a black eye, right?
Fair
now it just looks like we live in a trailer park.
Shout out to Stone Pilsner.
Yeah. I asked someone, I was like, so when you see a guy with or you see a girl with a black eye, she's with a guy, what do you think? And she's like, well, I look at the guy and I decide. And that was the moment where I considered changing my haircut. Go home, throw away all my camo. Those are gone.
Tank tops out the window.
No, I'm keeping those because I'm willing to look abusive for a good play on words. So this is my stand-up set I'm working on. It's like all these jokes.
That's a good start. I like it.
Yeah, what made?
I mean, it seems like domestic violence jokes were hit tonight. It was probably all those good punchlines.
Another one just ready to go.
Know your audience. North Carolina, Virginia. Yeah. If you live in Texas.
That's horrible out of context. It's like, luckily you can't get canceled in poker because that was like fucking cutting the line.
I hate to cut you off because like I think we could do this for like another 4 hours. But I have places to go and Phil locks the beat. But I do. I want to talk at least about the lodge some, because like you having a substantial piece of the lodge and how you got there, I think is incredibly interesting, and I like the lodge a lot for what it's worth for everybody. I've only been once, but had an absolute blast.
Awesome.
But no, like how did that come to be, and like what's the I don't know, like where are you guys going? I want you to promote the lodge some.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So when I first, all right, so taking a step back, I lived in Vegas for a long time. I was here from like, I lived there a little earlier on. We talked about that before, but I lived in Vegas or Henderson for like 12 years. And my wife and I were at a point where we're like, okay, we're going to have kids. Where should we live growing? Because in my opinion, once you start raising kids, you want to stay put. I had to move around a lot, and it sucked making new friends. We want to stay put. Where is a good place to raise kids? And frankly, I don't think Las Vegas is that great for kids. It might be a hot fucking take here, but I feel like it was not the best environment. So we made a short list: Dallas, Austin, Nashville, Miami. Let's go check some places out. No state income tax. And we got to Austin. We're like, we love it here. This is a great spot. We bought a place. And I was actually sort of ready to kind of like hang up the gloves, sort of, so to speak, just like sort of do the family thing. And then we got a coffee one day, and I look over, and there's this place called Shuffle. And I think to myself, that's weird. And I walk into my coffee, and I walk in, it's a poker room, and the desk guy's like, Doug Polk? And I'm like, is this a poker room? I'm like, yeah, welcome to Shuffle. And I realized like, oh my God, there's poker here. And I Googled it, and I realized that there's a specific loophole that you can operate within Texas. Mm-hmm. And, loophole is so funny, by the way. People say it is a negative, but it's just legal. Like loophole just means legal, really. Yeah. So anyway, I was Googling and learning about it, and I realized, okay, you can have a poker room. And the moment I learned that I'm here now in this state that's, growing and we're building something. And then of course, the gambling industry owning the assets where people are eventually going to come in for bigger entities, I saw a good opportunity, and I entered it. So I bought into the lodge 3.5 years ago with a crew of guys, some names you would know, like Brad Owen, Andrew Nemi, guys like that. We've been building. We own 2 clubs now. We bought the biggest club in San Antonio as well. But yeah, we're still building things. We have our show. We won Hand of the Year last year. We won Poker Stream of the Year. GPI, yeah. So we're very proud of our show. We're very proud of our card room. It's a lot of fun. I'm going to be honest, it's a lot of work. Customer service is sometimes hard, but it's also been building those relationships has been fun, and I'm proud. I'm proud of what we've built so far. We're going to keep doing cool stuff.
Yeah, it's great to hear, and like truly, you guys should go visit the lodge. Like it's been.
We have a WPT in October, so if you want to come check the lodge out, WPT Prime coming in late September, early October. Stop on by for $1 million guarantee, stuff like that. Should be cool.
Sweet. And check out their stream, because you might just see the next Hand of the Year.
So one more thing I do want to touch on. I am very biased, and you might be as well. But 2 of my closer friends in poker are Jesse Yaganuma and James Carroll. And
wow,
like the stuff that came from this, I've tempered myself. I've been quite mute on almost every social platform, and I'm not trying to go on a rant right now. But you seem like a good mouthpiece, and like I will say, and I apologize for being truthful with this, but like the only times I've watched your podcast is during that stretch, because I think you brought up a lot of very good points, and like I know you come from a point of like maybe slight bias as well, being attached to Club WPT Gold, but I'd be upset at myself if I didn't at least like mention it to you, because like I do think you did a lot of good stuff for those guys and the community looking at them.
Yeah, so that situation, just kind of highlight it for the audience. These guys ended up heads up at the end of an event where one of them would win an extra $1 million from WPT Gold if they won the tournament. And so there's clearly a very heavy incentive for one player to win. I forget, was it Jesse?
Jesse, yeah.
Yeah, if Jesse wins, they win extra $1 million. So again, this is my opinion, not WPT. It's not whatever. In my opinion, I kind of feel like it's the players' tournament. It's their money. They made it this far. Like, shut the fuck up for all the brands. If you want to have a side prize, let them have a side prize. In poker, we've done that for years. Where if you win something, you might win extra. We had so many years where there were sponsors where if you wore the pad, dude, endless numbers of where if you win, you get more money. And in my opinion, it's up to the players. It's their tournament. They bought in. They own the rights to the money. I don't like trying to come in and say integrity of the game. I mean, man, I just did a video about like it's actually really interesting. I did a video about every main event champion ever, and I gave them all tier rankings. And so I had to learn about just like so many guys that I just had never heard of that won the main event. And like even in the main event of the World Series of Poker, there have been like so many spots there where there's deals. Like they just dealt, the first World Series of Poker main event was just a vote.
Yeah.
We all played poker for a day and like, you're great, you win. And it was like, there's been deals or chops or behind this. That's been going on for so many goddamn years. And the only reason it's a big deal now is because we have this clash where look, the poker market's consolidating. We're getting down to just it's two brands. We have GG, WSOP, and we have WPT. And every company is apparently getting sold to one. And I guess I'm part of that. So like there are two brands. And it's not about the fact there was a million. It's not about the fact that they clearly chip dumped. It's about the fact that it was two WPT kind of. And it made it about WPT. And so I think that trying to pretend that this is about like the sanctity of the game or like how poker has had this kind of shit going on for fucking forever. If you cheat other people at the table to win these prizes, you're a scumbag. Okay.
Shit.
You're a piece of fucking shit. But, big but, once everyone agrees, it's your money. And frankly, bracelets, I mean, man, there are hundreds of bracelets now. It's like, come on. Oh my God. Someone got a bracelet that they kind of didn't fully win. Oh no, the horror. Don't tell Phil Hellmuth.
So how many bracelets do you think you're going to
Exactly. I guess I just don't see the big deal.
So I've had this argument as well. Argument's a strong word. Discussion, I think, is a better way. On the other side of the coin, if WSOP GG decided to do something similar and throw in a bunch of money to the winner if they promoted GG, I have a feeling it benefits the players, number one, which is amazing. Like imagine back in the online heyday where to your point, like if you made like a final table, you just got patched up and it's like, here's $10,000, just put this on, and if you win, it's $1 million. It's great. Like
it's good.
The poker players need to get like some of this money being come back to them. Like all the money's been made off them, I guess is the way to put it. And like I think it'd be great if GG made promotions to get back at WPT.
But dude, they do that. You know that, right?
I know they do.
This is the biggest part of the hypocrisy of this whole thing is they have a thing where if you win it or what, I don't know the background exactly, but basically if you have GG patch on and you qualify correctly, you win an extra $1 million if you win the main or final or whatever it is. So they're doing the same thing. It's just because they own it. It's fine. They're only going after WPT, in my opinion, because they fucking hate WPT. And this is exactly why they put in December WPT, and I've said this before I joined WPT. WPT in December was very much in the right on this, where they had their tournament series in December, where they wanted to create a big December series. And then WSOP came in and were like, we're going to do the same thing at the same time in the Bahamas. Go out to the Bahamas, right? And it's just why? Like, why go to war on the same? It's just to fucking cockblock the fuck out of WPT. It makes no sense to me. What?
They had all of January. They already had all of January.
Dude, there's so many slots they could have picked, but they were just like, no, we're not going to let you have that. We're going to be 3 times as big, and it's going to be great. It's going to be better too. You're going to like it. I mean, in my opinion, why not just let WPT have this event at this time in that time slot? They're clearly aggressively going after WPT. The market's consolidating. There are less players. I get all that shit, but I guess I just don't like when it's like WPT is the bad guy because they did this. Like, well, yeah, what about what you're fucking doing too? It's a fucking two-way street. And to pretend that you are offering incentives in some of the same tournaments, and these incentives in tournaments at the World Series have gone on for years and years and years. And now we're going to pretend like this is some evil first of its kind of thing. Like it's ridiculous in my opinion. Like the players are winning more money to promote poker. Why are we getting angry? It just seems like so. I get everyone's biased. I'm biased. Negreanu's biased. Everyone's biased in this. But like when Lee Jones did the thing with the fucking earmuffs and he's talking about like how bad it is it? We're giving extra millions to players? The horror. I don't understand why.
And that's the main part of it. Like I I would shudder to think if instead of if it was James Carroll and Jesse Yago, two very established poker pros for the last 15 years or so, if it was Jesse, the bus driver from Memphis, and James, the teacher from California, if this would have been treated the same way. And like, I know I'm kind of splitting hairs a little bit, but like, I have to imagine like they would be demonized if they went after those two guys for doing exactly what 98% of people in this world would have done. And I'm more just like, I'm defending more the Jesse and Kroll aspect more than the companies like warring and whatnot. I mean,
dude, look, if I'm heads up with someone, it's our money, and he comes to me and he says, "Hey, I'll give you like if you just punt this off to me, you're going to win $300K more than second. I'm going to punt it off to you. Like I'm sorry, this isn't like it's not scammy. It's our money. You know what I'm saying? Like this is just a company doing a promotion. Let's get the fucking money. I don't understand.
Exactly.
Incentives breed outcomes.
And like,
that's just what happened.
To people, and like, I don't know this for certain this has ever happened, but I'm sure it's happened. If bracelets are important to you and you get heads up for a bracelet and you give the person more than what the difference is first and second place, and I'm almost positive this has happened, good. Like, what's wrong with that? Like, I don't understand that. Like, he gets more money, you get what you want. It's a handshake deal. Congratulations.
I guess I'm a free market guy. And the way I view it is there's only two parties, and there's an economy here, and there's values, and let them make a deal. It's not your money. Like it's not it's honestly not your money. Like it's their money. So why are you getting involved at all?
Yeah. I think that's the end of the story.
While we're on kind of that subject, I know you have to go in a second here, but almost like I'm the host. So I feel like when people sell their action at Markup and people bitch, and I love Sean Deeb. There's a very great picture of me with him last night that I'm a little bit embarrassed by. But and they like go on these rants about like how fucked up this markup is, that they aren't winning. Who cares? It's a free fucking market. If you think they're losing, don't fucking buy it. Like if someone sells their action and they're a popular person, people want to buy it, and there is a market of people trying to buy it, it does not matter if they're winning as long as they're honest. If they say, "Hey, I'm selling for this event. I don't know my edge, but I'm just gonna leave it up to you guys. I'm selling at this. Take a piece if you want." There is nothing wrong with that. And I don't even sell my action. I have no dog in that fight. But pretending like it's somehow evil that you're a bad player selling at markup, like who cares? It's fucking, this is capitalism, bro. Just let people sell at the market. The market will decide.
Yeah. Do you know how much that yo-yo cost to make in China?
Way
Not
less.
as much as you're paying for it.
Way less.
So kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
No, that's similar.
Am I the yo-yo in this situation, or no?
Yeah.
I don't charge markup anymore. It's been a long time since I've ever charged markup for anything.
No one thinks on this podcast you're pulling the strings.
Thank you.
All right. I think we're out of time. Promote something else. Code Doug.
Say something negative or positive. Go.
All right. Well, I want to say thank you for having me on to start off with. I've always wanted to come on this podcast. You guys do a really great behind the scenes job of like the world of Vegas and what's going on here. And I think you provide like an important and different approach to content in the poker world that brings a lot of value for the people that follow it. So I'm promoting you. That was a bad plug.
That was actually really nice.
Code T1.
As for me, heading down to the lodge. WPT is coming in October. Obviously, if you want to play on Club WPT Gold, you can use code Doug. You get 20 coins on your first deposit, and we have a quarterly 100,000 coin free roll. So tons of value. If you want to play online poker in America, in most states, use code Doug today.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, by the way.
That's the pod.
Bye-bye.
Me and my buddy, we make it all of this money. Yeah, I know it's rude to be bragging. They never